Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Chloe DeVerrier here. I know it's been hard for me recently getting content out, but I promise you I've been working very hard in trying to find a new studio space, figuring out new equipment. I bought new lighting equipment. On the topic of equipment, I'm also trying out a new wireless mic that was sent to me from Movo. If you guys like the quality, I will link that in the description box below for you to check out. But on the topic of getting more content out, I thought what better way than to start that today with some words of wisdom, because I am wrapping up 5 years in this business, guys. 5 years. There's been a lot of mistakes. There's been a lot of learning lessons and opportunities and a lot of time for me to really refine how I want to run my business and how to run my career. And so I've compiled a list for you today about things that I really wish I knew sooner and what will absolutely be staying in the past as I move forward into my 6th year. So with all of that said, let's hop into it. Lesson number 1, if something worked once, it doesn't mean it will work forever. And I think it's really clear for you to understand that being in the real estate industry, it is constantly adapting. We are constantly adapting to new laws, new changes, how the market shifts. You know, our career is very much based on a cyclical market. There is ups and there are downs. We are an ever-changing industry. And so when you're prospecting, when you're lead generating, the way you are buying gifts for your clients, it could be literally anything. It might have worked in the past. It doesn't mean it's going to continue to work. And you will know, you will see the shift if maybe you're not getting as many strong responses to your marketing efforts or your prospecting efforts. So keep that in mind as the market shifts, as the industry adapts, we need to adapt with it. Number 2, this is going to sound harsh, but people will forget about you. And it's our job, it's our duty to stay top of mind in order to be at the forefront of those opportunities. If you're not top of mind, whether it's with marketing, social media, consistent networking, whatever your different fields and pockets are, if you are not constantly physically present, you will be forgotten. And the thing about agents is that every person that I've ever met has a Rolodex of agents. And so who's gonna be thought of when an opportunity for, maybe let's say a referral presents itself? It's going to go to the agent who's top of mind, who's present. A lot of it is chance, a lot of it is luck, a lot of it is a numbers game. But you need to stay top of mind. And listen, guys, social media is the #1 way to do that. Number 3, your brand is everything. People overlook this. People, when they get into the industry, that they think that their brokerage, their broker is their brand. But you couldn't be farther from the truth. When you're interviewing with a prospective client, they're not interviewing Coldwell Banker, as an example. They're interviewing me, Chloe, who happens to be affiliated with Coldwell Banker, but they're interviewing me, my personality, my skill set, what I bring to the table, my expertise in marketing, whatever your golden nugget is to differentiate yourself from your competition. But your brand will define you. And your brand is going to take you way farther into your career, way farther into the future than if you are a brandless agent. We're in a very oversaturated space. There are so many of us. And so the only way that you can really differentiate yourself is by creating a brand. Number 4, it's not about motivation, it's about discipline. This is a career with many high highs and many low lows. There will be many breaking moments where you question, is this the career for you? I've been there. Every agent I've ever known has been there. 7-figure top producing agents have been there. We will all be faced with the difficulties of running a business. You're fully self-employed. You wake up every day, technically unemployed, and your goal is to go out and find business. There are a lot of things in this career that you're not going to want to do. There are things that I have to do every day that I'm not comfortable doing, but I know by getting out of my comfort zone and doing it, it will bring me the results for success. So we have to stay disciplined no matter how tired you are, how unmotivated you are, how you've been hustling at the same thing for a year and you still haven't gotten that result yet. You have to stick with it. When you feel like you're on the verge of quitting, that's when you know this is the time you need to stick it through. Number 5, I cannot emphasize this enough, and honestly, I wish I knew this in the very beginning. If you walk into a room and there is another agent there, do not leave. I cannot tell you how many times people will walk into a space and there are multiple people in the same industry as them, it doesn't have to be real estate, and they shy away. They're intimidated, they're scared, they get in their heads and they start to compare, well, that person has 10 more years experience than me. Who's gonna wanna work with me over them? They're already here, they've already claimed this space. Let me go find a new space. And that could be the worst advice you could give yourself, because there will always be another realtor, there will always be another agent. Especially if you're in the networking space, you're going to happy hours or networking events, or you're in a coffee shop. I don't care what it is, there will always be another agent. You will pick up clientele based off of your personality. There is a high chance that people will not connect with that other agent. They might connect with you more. Or vice versa, they might connect with them more versus you. We cannot please everyone in this business. We cannot win everyone as a client. But if you walk away from that room, you are losing every opportunity to pick up a new relationship. Number 6, your pride and ego will be your biggest enemy. I, for years, refused to acknowledge opportunities with other agents because I was so stuck on wanting to do everything myself. I'm very independent at heart. And I think for the longest time, I wanted to prove to myself that, no, I can do this on my own. It wasn't until this year at year 5 where I said, why am I hindering myself and isolating myself when I could be partnering with other people in my office, as an example, to target opportunities that may still currently be out of my league. So number 7, stopping cheap. And what I mean by that is sometimes we go the cheaper route for maybe equipment, marketing, materials, because in the moment you don't want to spend that money. And I found later on that either you regret those decisions or the equipment that you bought doesn't hold up because it's not great, you end up having to buy another one. And then before you know it, you've spent more money in the long run than had you just made that upfront initial investment. And number 8, my last and final piece of advice for today's video, don't ever disregard a connection because in the moment it felt small or unimpactful to what you were looking for in that moment. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know what kind of impression you're going to make on that person. And they could very much come back 3, 4, 5 years later to work with you. That's happened to me. So treat everyone with the same respect and openness to opportunity, because you never know. We truly as human beings will never know exactly how we were perceived, and you never know what kind of impact you can make on that person, and you never know what business can come from it in the future.